Hit me. One more time.
From my perspective, may be different from the others who went. So that's why I wanted them to share with you all what we did. You may not know, we left, we kind of hit a hurdle right at the beginning because, listen, I stood in the wrong line at the rental counter for like a half an hour, looking for the itinerary, let people go in front of me, like, go ahead, help them till I get my finding out and all that, only to find out I was at the wrong desk the whole time anyway. And then once we got over there, then they only had one person at the counter, and we kind of got to pick up Quentin and Victoria Lee. They had a friend that dropped them off. They was waiting for him. I know he was tired. He probably had to work the next morning. And we didn't get to them until about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were supposed to be there at 12:30. But either way, long story short, we got on the road. We had safe travel there and back. We went all night. We drove all night. Quentin picked up at about 8 o'clock in the morning and drove us the rest of the way to Michigan. So we had a wonderful trip. And in spite of all that, we had a busy day on Friday. I mean, we was able to check in the hotel, then we went to Flint. We stayed in Detroit, and we drove up about another hour to Flint to pick up the U-Haul truck. And immediately, as soon as we got to the U-Haul place, we began to meet people who were impacted by the water. So the picture that you see with the white man in the picture, his name was Trace Cooper. We met him at U-Haul. He was one of the people who lived in Flint but moved out because of the water of Flint. He moved out right away. First thing we noticed once we got off the highway was Flint, Michigan is a desolate place now. We've seen some major businesses close down. Pizza Hut, I ain't never seen a Pizza Hut go out of business. Rite Aid goes out of business, but this Rite Aid said 90% off. Everything. They was practically just giving it away. All they wanted to do was get out the building. There was so many other buildings that were shut down, boarded up schools, boarded up churches. I mean, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. I don't know if you ever been to places like, I think Portsmouth, Virginia looks like that a little bit. And there was even some places I remember going to Miami that I was thinking, wow, this looks really bad when everybody talks about Miami being so beautiful. This looks really bad. This place looked really bad. It looked like it's going through a crisis. And I can let you know that even streets of Baltimore don't look that bad. So here it is. I don't know who wants to come first. Since Quentin is at the front, we're going to let him go first. So Quentin, come on and share, brother. You can stand right here, man. You can stand right up here and just share what's going on.
It was definitely an amazing journey. As we said everything I wanted to come up here and say.
No, say it again.
As we drove down and rode through the cities of Detroit, Michigan, and Flint, Michigan, it was really bad. I'm proud that God gave me the blessings that He gave me to even have the finances to go down there, and I'm glad that Zion Hill gave me the opportunity to go bless somebody else with the opportunity of giving them water.
Take your time. Say what impacted you the most, man.
The people that was there, smiles on their faces of us just giving them the water was just amazing. I had a couple come up to me saying that they lost their hair. The kids lost their hair. The kids was taking baths in muddy water. That just showed me that how great I am down here, or how great we are in Baltimore, to not even have to go through that type of crisis, but just to go up there and bless them, it made my whole weekend. And I would do it a million more times, and not hesitate again.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you. God bless you. Come on. We're going to ask you, come on, sister wife. You might as well come next. Come on and share. Sister wife.
Isn't that a bad?
This is Victoria Roberts. You all know this is Victoria Barnes. Her name on Facebook is Victoria Roberts. But you all, they are husband and wife. They are new. They have rejoined and reconnected with us in the last few weeks and immediately stepped in and started said they want to be a part of this journey. So we thank God that they both came and shared with us. She said she don't like to speak either. Absolutely.
I had an amazing experience. Just saying, I feel like I have a lot to be blessed for. You know, just saying the struggle, and I don't know, just everything was just a part to me. Just giving out water and seeing the smiles on their faces and water, just water. You know, just I don't know. I feel like it was just a blessed moment. It's blessed.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Come on, Sister Bonnie. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I guess I'm gonna share like some of the experience I had. There was that one time where I was up in front of Sam's.
I was up too.
I was up in front of Sam's almost, and excuse me. As they were coming out of Sam's, they were coming over and stopping to get water. And there was so many people saying, you know, what church are you from? And when I would say, you know, Zion Hill, they would say, where's that at? And I would say Baltimore. And they would be like, you came all the way to Baltimore? I mean, came all the way to Flint? And they wanted to give you hugs and they thanked you because their city stopped giving out water and they needed, you know, their city completely stopped. There was one lady that came up and said, do you know it takes 120 bottles of water for me to take a bath?
Wow.
Imagine having to go through, and she said, you know, just pouring water, 120 bottles for her to take a bath. The lady said that, you know, her and her children's hair were coming out, and they had no idea why their hair were coming out, and it was because of the water. There was people coming up and they were like, you know, I don't live in Flint anymore, so you know, I can't take the water. And I was like, you know, yeah, you can take the water. There was just so many people coming up, and you know, it wasn't at first it wasn't that, you know, we were coming saying, you know, take the water. We were taking the water in the parking lot. We were walking it over. We were putting it in cars. It wasn't like we just set up and was like, you know, come get the water. Come walk over here, get the water. We were taking it to their vehicles. We went to an apartment complex and a guy came out and said he had a hip replacement and he lived on the 3rd floor, and Doug put a case on his shoulder, marched it up there. There was a guy that was on dialysis, I think. There was people on the 2nd floor. I saw him and Quentin, you know, they were pushing it up to the 2nd floor. Like, we went into Flint. We didn't just stay at Sam's and Walmart. We went into the neighborhoods. We stood on a busy corner, and they were yelling, you know, we all yelling to the top of our lungs, you know, free water, and they were pulling into the parking lot. Like, it was just, I would have loved to take my son there. I would have loved to take my son for him to see that. I can remember last night on the way back, my son had texted me and was like, how was Flint? And I kind of explained a little bit, you know, of it, and him sending back. I know they really appreciate what y'all did for that, and I'm so proud of you. You know, and it just brought tears to my eyes, because we can go home and turn the faucet on and get water, you know, even though a lot of us don't drink tap water, but we can turn it on, we can use it for cooking, we can use it for bathing, but they can't. They can't use it for those things. It's just, it was good to go, you know, be able to be a blessing to them, to know that they need this water. You know, it's not something that they're gonna, you know, just have, oh, well, I got a little bit of water. They need this water for everything. They need it for cooking. They need it for brushing their teeth. They need it for everything. You know, just think how many times you go to the faucet to use the water. For every, you know, cooking and, you know, you need that. They can't do that. So it's just good that we were able to, you know, be a blessing and help some of the families there. You know, so thank you.
Well, come on, Miss Logan.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Yes, I would. I would absolutely do it again.
Good morning, everyone. For me, it was a very humbling experience because so many times we take so many small things for granted, like just as Bunny said, just the use of water. You know, we are so privileged here that, you know, we don't have to take a bath with bottled water. And if you just think about how tedious it would be to just, you know, fill up a tub just to take a bath. And as I listened to so many of the stories that we consistently heard over and over again, how they just can't use the water and how the water is affecting them and how, you know, they're losing hair. And one woman said that she got a water bill for $850. Can you imagine just getting a water bill? You can't even use the water, but they still billing you, and you have to pay for this water that you can't use. And then she went on to say how, you know, the water was so muddy and how her kid, her son had eczema and how his skin was just, I could just imagine because I have eczema myself, and I know how, you know, once you get a flare up and you itch, and how, you know, my daughter has eczema and how she used to itch and how, you know, she would scratch until she bled. But so can you just imagine like having to bathe your child, knowing that your child has this condition, but then you're going to just kind of, I mean, it was just, as I just think back on, you know, even as I laid in the bed last night and just thought about the situation, and as we pulled into to get to U-Haul yesterday, we were sitting in the car and we were just talking about, you know, the people there in Flint, like, okay, they just need to move. If I had a child here, you know, and I couldn't use the water, I would just get up and move. But then you have to really stop and think that so many of these people don't have the resources to just get up and move. You know, so I just thank God that we could be a blessing to that community. I also just thank God for my husband's vision. I thank God that, you know, that his vision could really come to fruition. If I had a chance to do it again, I would just love to go back. And because as we were sitting in the car talking, and that was the one thing I wanted to do. I said, I really want to just talk to the people that actually live there. I want to hear their story. And once I heard it, it was just like, wow. You know, we just think that we have so many, we you know, stress about little things, but yet these people are going through this, and they didn't just start going through this yesterday. They've been going through this for years. Because the one lady said, she was talking about how the city had gotten so much money, you know, so many people had gave donations, and she was like, okay, well, where's all this money going? Because we still don't have any water. And I mean, it was, I don't know if it was a church, but it was another organization that was giving out water right up the street from where we were giving out water. But it was just so humbling to see the expressions on people's faces. You could see the sincere gratitude in their eyes. I just thank God.
All right.
Just to touch on the lady who had the really high water bill, there was another lady that came up and said that she still get a water bill, but she don't pay her water bill. She said, eventually I am. She said, because if I don't pay it because I own my home, they will take
your home.
They will take my home. So she said, I'm not paying it now. She said, and it's really, you know, it's going up and up. She said, hopefully I can get help. She said, but, you know, if I don't pay it, they will take my home. Even though we don't use the water, we can't use the water. She said, they will still take my home if I don't pay this water bill. You know, and that is major. Then $850, the lady said her water bill was. How are you getting an $850 water bill and you're not even able to use it? Like, so they have to do something. Like, they have to. And I wanted to say, you know, yesterday on the way back, you know, I kept asking Doug, you know, are you okay? You know, and I was looking up to make sure he was fine. Like, he drove the entire way back. Like, the entire way back. So I just you know, thank Quentin for the driving, you know, most through the city and, you know, up there. I want to thank you gentlemen, you know, for getting us there safe and bringing us back home safe, because none of the women drove.
My perspective is it was absolutely incredible. For two, I guess for a few reasons for me. One was just because God had showed me to do this at this specific time. It wasn't a time where, you know, there was a time where there was an abundance of people bringing in tractor trailers full of water. The National Guard was there passing out water. The city was passing out water. And the young man that we met, the first young man we met in U-Haul, said, man, the National Guard has now gone. The city doesn't pass out water anymore. Most churches are only giving it to people in their church. There's just a very few people who are giving out to just anybody who needs it. So when we heard that, I was like, wow, we can't believe that we come right at the right time to make sure that we was a blessing for somebody else. Then we went to Sam's Club and I walked in the door and the lady said, well, who are you? And I told her what I was there for. As a matter of fact, let me back up. We was at U-Haul and I had emailed the church to tell them that we were coming. And so they didn't reply to us. They didn't reply to me at all. And I looked out the window and I saw the van. And I said, I turned to the man, I said, I emailed your pastor. Told him I was coming today and I never got anything back from him. So he immediately picked up the phone and called the man that was in charge of the water at their church. And they began to apologize to us for not replying back to me. And I don't know if it was a mistake on my part that he said they didn't get the email. But regardless was, we was able to get in touch with them at that moment. I guess because there are a lot of people who are looking for attention and wanted to come and get on TV. And I told you there was a bishop that said, oh, come on, we'll call the mayor and we'll get the TV cameras up. We didn't need none of that. We got our thanks right there by just talking to the people. You know, if you saw the pictures on Facebook and things like that. So we talked to them and let them know what was going on. And they were actually going to the same Sam's Club to pick up water that we was there to pick up. So we went in the store and the lady said, well, you know, we got your orders together. We had 15 pallets of water. And it was so much water, they put 6 pallets on a U-Haul truck. And they said, well, what you want to do with the rest? That's why and then it was a Sam's Club and a Walmart standing right next. They was like, well, sit up right in the middle so that you can hit both stores. And immediately they began to bring out pallets of water. I mean, long line. You have 9 pallets of water. People, them Sam's Club workers were working hard to bring out that water for us. Then they set up a table for us so we could have a place to sit. Then they brought us cold water so we could have something to drink. Then they brought us out some food. I'm talking about they had chicken and they had some pasta salad and they had vegetables. And then I talked to one man, I said, look man, we done had all this water. I want a slushie. Y'all sell slushies in there? He said, yeah, come on. Then we got everybody got a slushie. We was all right for a little while. All right, we gave out 9 pallets of water in 3 hours.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
9 pallets of water in 3 hours. We gave most people almost everybody got at least 1 case, but some people got 2 cases. We did discover, of course, racism is real. Some people don't want to take no water from no black man, no some low black woman. They don't want it. We good. They looking at. Then we had some people who almost broke out in tears because we was there. And we say, yeah, you might have just went in Sam's Club. And we even went in Sam's Club and was talking to some people. And they say, yeah, those people that are here buying water are not the people that are in Flint. So if you're passing out water, people do come here to shop because they come to Walmart. But they don't go into Sam's Club and get that discounted water. You know, so he was like, so yeah, you're gonna definitely impact some people just by being out front of the store. And so yeah, we saw some people coming through. I mean, people came through, older people. One man had a stroke. He said, man, I'm coming to get my water because I need this water. And we helped him put his water in the car. People pulled up. We had some pastors that pulled up and said, man, y'all are doing a great job where y'all from. They couldn't believe we came all the way from Baltimore. I said, yeah, we came all the way from Baltimore this morning. We met people that had came to Baltimore for family reunions last weekend. They got family here in Baltimore. They were excited that somebody thought enough of them to take all that time to come up there. And then we drove past some beautiful churches. When we drove through Detroit and drove through even parts of Flint that had some churches, they had some fantastic buildings. And I'm not discounting their ministry, but there should not be a lack of water in there.
That's right.
So as we drove around and we began to see that some people pride just won't let you take something for free. If I don't pay for it, I don't want it. And that's the same thing I experience sometimes when I'm out here passing out bread. If it ain't exactly what I want, I don't take it. If it's not sweets, I won't take it. If it's not a loaf of white bread, but if it's something that's going to give you nourishment and help you sustain a meal to the next day, some people just won't take it because it ain't exactly what I want. So we had to understand it, and it makes you say, well, why you just don't want to take this water? We want to be a blessing to you, but some people just say no. But then here it is. You cannot worry about whether or not how people are blessed by what you're called to do.
That's right. Amen. That's right.
All right, because here it is. God can bless a whole lot of people a whole lot of different ways. There are some people that are abundantly blessed. So somebody might have had 15 cases of water in their house already. Yeah. They saw an opportunity. Oh, y'all giving out free water. Thank you so much. So now I got some more water to make sure my family is better off. Yeah. Fine, we bless them as well. Did I have no requirements? People ask, you need to see my ID, you need to know where I live. No, all I need to know is if you want to open your door to your car. Yeah. That's it. Amen. Do you want this water that we're here to give you? Amen. Will you say thank you? Will you smile when we're talking to you? Then we had some people who weren't quite sure if they wanted the water. They might have been all right, but maybe they just couldn't afford to buy water that day. Yeah. So they were happy to get some water. Then we met them people that were desperate for water. Like the lady who needed the 120 bottles to take a bath. Okay. 120 bottles. That's 3 cases of water every time you take a bath. Lord. One lady we met, she said she had just came from Chicago, I believe. And she said, I was so happy to get into a hotel room with a bathtub. And I just laid in the bathtub and soaked in the water for a while. Wow. Because I can't do that at home, because when I come home, the water is brown coming out my faucet. And now they're telling us, just boil the water and it'll be okay. No, that ain't working, she said. It still got contaminants in it. It still got bad bacteria in it that will make us sick. Then there were so many other people. There were white folks who needed this water. Some of them had on suits and ties. And some of them looked just as broke down as some of the people that we see every day in the streets of Baltimore. That needed this water, that was grateful that somebody said, listen, all we want to do, somebody offered us some money for water. Can we give you some money? No, we don't want no money. Take this water, have a good day. Prayerfully, this will help you on your way until you're able to get to another distribution place that's passing out water. We heard that a young man that was trying to hurry up, got off of work or something, and was trying to get to another distribution place that was closing when we were setting up.
Wow.
And we made sure that he got, I think we gave him like 5 cases of water. Wow. You know, we gave people 5. They had more people in the car. The more people they had in the car, the more cases of water we gave them. We gave out literally 750 cases of 40 cases, 40 bottles per case. 30,000 bottles of water in 5 days, in 5 hours. In 5 hours. Sam's Club said this was one of the largest orders they've had for water in a long time. Because people have just stopped giving. Some parties said, man, we got so commonplace where we don't care no more. That reminded us of the streets of Baltimore where the murders are just so commonplace that people don't care no more. Yeah. And it takes somebody to come from somewhere else to step up and say, hey, we need to change this perspective so that you can understand you deserve to be blessed. You deserve to have fresh water to drink and fresh water to bathe in and fresh water to cook with and fresh water to wash your clothes with. But the people have been beat down so much daily by not being able to use the water that God has provided for them, because they come through a system, come through a river that's contaminated and dirty. So we were blessed by that. And y'all, this is not, we're not gonna, I was gonna share a small message with you all, but I don't know. The point of this, we went up there to be a blessing.
Yeah.
But in turn, we got blessed. We got blessed. We got blessed. We don't know that even today that them people are drinking fresh water. Last night was able to open up a bottle of water, put it in the refrigerator, and get it cold, and drink a nice cold bottle of water.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't have to go to, it's not just drinking sodas and juice and things like that. They're actually getting fresh water. I mean, I don't recall seeing a whole lot of markets inside of Flint. Whatever was going on, you had to get out of Flint. We was outside of Flint, we had to go outside of Flint to go to Sam's Club. We had to go outside of Flint to see the Walmart. We only saw one Walmart. Now y'all know that's incredible.
Yeah.
The whole trip, we 1,300 miles. We saw one Walmart. We can go right now, and you can go down the street and see 5.
I don't remember seeing any markets in
We didn't see no markets. There was a Kroger somewhere, but it wasn't directly inside, like downtown or in the hood areas of Flint. And you could tell when you got there, the streets were crumbling up. The buildings were boarded up. I mean, grass was growing overgrown. I'm not talking about just in houses. The common areas that the city should probably take care of.
Wow.
I mean, you go past and on the street and it'd be 6 strip malls, or it'd be 1 store, a gas station, and a liquor store. The things that tear us down. And then there's criteria. I talked to a young man, he said, oh, we don't get this much water normally. They don't normally give us, 4 or 5 cases of water. There's a limit. I said, well, we don't have no limit. Just, we gonna give you until your car full. And that's what we did. We filled people's cars up, their back seats full, trunks full of water. Some people got 10 cases of water at one time. That's 400 bottles that we gave them. But then we also found out, this is the other thing that we're gonna let y'all, there were people who were taking advantage of people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They would take the cases of water and return them back to the store to get the money.
Wow.
Yep.
So Sam's Club went and told us about it and gave us Sharpies to X out the barcode. As soon as they saw the X on the barcode, they knew the water was donated and they couldn't return the water bill.
Wow.
But it's crazy to know that even in the midst of trying to be a blessing to somebody else, somebody will try to take advantage of a situation that somebody else really does need. But it can't deter us from still trying to meet the need. Because the devil's going to always try to be busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no matter how good we become, no matter how big we grow, no matter how effective we are, there's going to always be a devil that wants to infiltrate.
Yeah.
Want to look like us, want to talk like us, but has some serious ulterior motives simply to destroy us or to discourage us from being what God has called us to be. Y'all, we're going to be a 5-star church.
Yeah.
We took a 5-star ministry. 5-star ministry went to Flint, Michigan yesterday.
All right now.
And we blessed them people, and we blessed God and gave him the glory.
Hallelujah.
As I saw the post on Facebook, y'all, I'm serious. And it's hard for me now not to cry, because I realized this was a God-given vision.
Yeah.
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 It wasn't about Douglas Logan. It wasn't about Donetta or Bonnie or Quentin or Victoria. It wasn't even about Zion Hill. It was just about being a blessing. And we were the vessels that God allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Amen.
And we did it effectively.
Yeah.
And we did it very, very well. And I'm telling you all, and I tell you all 4 again, I am so thankful that you all took time off your job.
Thank you.
You sacrificed your money. You sacrificed your time, and you walked with me, and you served me on these last 2 days.
Thank you.
And to everybody who sold into helping us get this water together, whether you sold a dime, whether you sold $1, whether you sold $40, or even if you gave a couple $100 to allow us to reach our goal, thank you so much for allowing us to help be a blessing to another community that desperately needs it. And yes, we will at some point decide that we want to go back and be a blessing. because this is not going to turn around tomorrow.
Oh, no.
It's going to cost thousands and millions of dollars per house to run new pipelines, millions of dollars to put new filtration system for a whole city to make sure that people can have the water they need. And we got to be a part of the blessing. So in the meantime, we can do our part to bless a city who deserves to be blessed.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. Amen. Listen, y'all, let's give God some praise for what we have taken place.
Pray for me. I'm afraid that I'm about to lose it all. Pray for me.